And we're live.
Awesome. Thank you, Bonnie. Hello, y'all out there in LinkedIn land and YouTube land and wherever else this is being streamed. I'm Elise Benin of marketing-mentor.com. And this is an experiment. Y'all know I love to do experiments. So we thought we would test out a live streaming event. We're talking marketing with Mary Vosica, who I'm going to allow to introduce herself shortly. But it's really kind of just a warm up also for our Cyber Monday live event, which is happening on November 28th from 12 to 1 Eastern. And we'll share a link if you want to join us, if you haven't signed up already at the end. We're going to spend about 30 minutes talking. And it's also like a mini version of Office Hours, which is a monthly kind of group coaching session gathering that comes with my Simplest Marketing Plan. And in November, at the office hours, we were talking a lot about LinkedIn and engaging and expanding your network and all sorts of strategies to do that. And Mary, who is part of the Simplest Marketing Plan, she's a member of the group. And she was not able to join us, but she had shared some really interesting ideas that were working for her. And so I thought, all right, well, let's have a little test here to talk about that, bring her on, get some more information about what's working, and we'll see if you can learn a little something. So, with that said, Mary, please give us your elevator pitch and maybe a little bit of background about where you're coming from.
Absolutely. Thanks, Elise. Hi, everybody. Or I guess I should say, hey, y'all, because I now live in East Tennessee. I'm originally from Northern California. But my name is Mary Vosica, and I'm with True Voice Copy. That's my company. I'm a content marketing strategist for professional service providers and other small businesses. So I help my clients drive quality leads and close bigger, better sales by creating and developing appropriate marketing strategies and writing the content for those strategies so that they are always increasing their bottom line.
Awesome. And we also have the lovely Bonnie Fanning, who is the
Hello.
new co host of the Office Hours with me, starting in actually, she already started in November. But Bonnie, give us your elevator pitch. I know you've been practicing that, and you're a brand new freelancer, full time freelancer. So
I
talk to us
am.
about that. Yeah.
Thanks, Elise. And I just want to say, first of all, I'm so excited to be part of this experiment and to be here with all of you guys. I'm a copy and content writer interested in confidence and self worth. And I'm aiming to help creative women become the biggest, brightest versions of themselves.
That's changed a lot since I heard it last.
Yes, it has. It's a work in progress,
Awesome.
as we all
And
are.
I see people commenting. So I think it would also be a good idea for people to comment by giving and sharing their elevator pitch also, because I love to make everything I do a networking opportunity because we have Mary is a copywriter, Bonnie is also a copywriter, but much more, and a previous photographer, former photographer. And I know we've got a lot of designers also in the group. So you never know what's going to come out of one of these sessions or conversations because timing is everything. And actually, that's a good segue to the overview, the big idea. In the office hours, I always like to give and start with a big idea. And today, the big idea is the very general one that I think a lot of people forget, which is number one, that marketing is not hard. A lot of people imagine, oh my God, it's really complicated, it's really difficult. My mission is to simplify it, and I have simplified it down to the three most effective marketing tools that you need, which we'll talk about. And not only isn't it hard, I want to tell you when it works. And I've been saying a version of this for many years, but sometimes I forget and don't say it for a while. So, marketing works when you know exactly who your people are, where to find them online and off, what their pain points are, which is what they struggle with, or what they're trying to achieve, which is their goals. And then you make that message the crux of your marketing content and your content marketing so that when they see it, they say to themselves, oh my God, this is exactly who we need when they're in their moment of need. And timing really is everything when it comes to marketing. So that's the big idea. And then in terms of the 3 marketing tools, I'm just going to describe them briefly, and then we can talk with Mary about how she uses them. So the first one is high quality content marketing, right? So a lot of the things that people post on LinkedIn, whether it's your LinkedIn newsletter or your email newsletter or your own content or sharing other people's content, right? All of that is content marketing, but what makes it high quality is that it speaks to the needs of your market. It's what they care about, not what you necessarily know all about. And then the second one is strategic networking, which I think networking has a bad rap, and it's mostly because people do random networking, not strategic networking. And so strategic networking is when you know who your people are and where to find them, and you go there. So it's a trade association, it's an event that is happening, it's a trade show, all of these places where your people will go so you can mingle with them, not to sell them, right? But just to begin developing relationships that, if you stay in touch, if you follow up, could possibly evolve into working relationships. And then the third, and then Bonnie, I'll give you a chance to comment or ask questions if you want. But the third marketing tool is what I call targeted outreach. And it's basically where the people that are your ideal clients, but don't know you exist yet, right? And so you choose the people that you want to work with and you introduce yourself to them and you reach out to them multiple times. It's not nagging, it's not harassing, it's not stalking. It's you just getting a little bit of mental real estate so that when they're in their moment of need, they say, oh, there was that person who was reaching out to us and I never responded to them, but now I need to find their email message, right? Or whatever it is that you sent to them. And so these 3 tools, high quality content marketing, targeted outreach, and strategic networking, when you do them together, they work together. And that is what works. So Bonnie, is it clear? Did I confuse anybody?
I don't see any confused comments, but I did want to quickly just ask you because, I know that you make each of those steps really easy and approachable, like very simple, like you're good at simplifying this stuff. But at the very beginning, you said you need to know who your ideal person is.
Mhm.
So if you don't know that in the start, do you have to know that to even begin, or is that something that you also help with?
No, and actually, I think it's by doing these things and trying them out and going to an event where you think, I don't know if these are going to be my people. In fact, I was talking to a client today who was telling me about 2 events that she had been to recently. And she said at this one, it was called Schmoozapalooza. And she said, everyone was so friendly. And those are definitely my people, small business owners, local business owners. And then she went to an event that was an open house for a middle and high school in her area. And she was like, those were definitely not my people. But she would not have known that if she hadn't attended the event. So no, you don't have to know first who your people are, but you have to be willing to experiment, right? And just, go places where you think, all right, that was not worth my time, but I learned something and now I'm going to try something else. So yeah.
I love that.
All right, so let's bring Mary into the conversation. So Mary, you had written to me in November the simplest marketing plan, and that's the plan that I offer, that the framework that I teach, and the plan that we sell, especially at Cyber Monday. So that's coming up. But the simplest marketing plan helped me approach the right prospects. So we'll want to know exactly who those people are, learn how to develop and nurture those relationships, and provide quality content to earn their respect, trust, and business. I'm happier, and so are my clients. My business is thriving, and it's because the simplest marketing plan gave me the tools and the roadmap. And so that's an awesome testimonial. So I thank you first for that. And some people may know that I like to take testimonials also as information. Like we can learn a lot from a compliment or praise instead of just patting ourselves on the back. And so we want to kind of dig in a little bit to the testimonial and learn so that you can do what Mary is doing and see what is working. So, Mary, maybe you can start by telling us who are these right prospects that you have found?
Absolutely. When I first opened my business and held my shingle out as a real copywriter, I thought that my natural market was going to be the financial industry because that's where I come from. I spent 35 years there. So I know that industry like the back of my hand, and I know compliance. But as I started working for those types of clients, it felt like a broken record, and it wasn't really something I wanted to do. So I leaned heavily on the Simplest Marketing Plan to experiment. Who are those people? Well, I handled investments and retirement plans for 3 groups in particular, and I thought, well, let's try those. So, and I've had a lot of success with them. So I work in particular with group number 1 is architects, engineers, and those in construction. The second group I work with is going to be personal and private chefs, restaurateurs, and also food consultants. And then the third group that I work especially well with is going to be the travel agents, the tour operators, and other people in tourism. And because the Simplest Marketing Plan just really gave me the freedom and the confidence to go out and try and experiment, I've been so much happier working with those people, you know, that each day has just been kind of fun.
That's so interesting. And so I just want to point out that you have 3 possible markets that you're essentially exploring. And I'm curious, of the 3, is there one that you can tell is more viable, stronger, has more potential? And if so, why? How do you know?
So one of my surprise clients is a personal chef, and he was a referral to me, and that referral came through LinkedIn. And we started just by working on the strategies that he needed, and he was willing to work hard, and he was actually willing to do what I asked him to do. See, that's the thing. Your client has to be willing to actually do what you advise. You know? And I got to be honest, it was a whole lot of fun. And one of the specific things he does are these private dinner parties for people, for groups of about 8 to about 20 people. And I held one of those events at my house just so I could see what he does. And I got to tell you, that was the most fun I'd ever had. I got to watch him cook. I got to watch him prepare. I got to host. I got to eat really good food. And from that, I knew how to market for him. So I've been doing some newsletters for him. I wireframed his website. I wireframed 3 interior pages. We have email campaigns going out. And we have some blog posts coming and some videos coming next year for him. And as other food consultants have been seeing this, they've been reaching out to me. Can you do this same thing for me? You know, so that's been a whole lot of fun.
Bonnie, it looks like you have a question.
No, I don't. I'm enjoying the idea of experimenting to this degree. Like, this is such a cool thing to say. This sounds like fun, and just follow it down that path. It could snowball into something huge.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, when I like to say, listen to the market, right? The market will guide you. And so that means you don't actually have to rack your brain and figure it all out. If someone makes their way to you and you say, oh, I had never thought of personal chefs. I had never thought of food consultants, but here's one. Let's see if I can clone that person, right? How many more are there? And some people might say, oh, well, how big is that market? And I would say, well, how many do you actually need as clients? You don't need 1,000, right?
No.
You just need, how many would you need, Mary?
Well, 3 is what I boiled it down to. I need 3. And one of the really cool things about it being here in East Tennessee is that right over there in Knoxville is the Food Network, and that's where they film Chopped and the Kids Baking Championship.
Well,
and a couple of my prospects have come from there.
Awesome.
You know? And so, and it's my chef client that introduced me. He was on Chopped and introduced me to these people. So, I mean, it's been great.
That's excellent. All right. And so let's talk a little bit about how you are using the tools in the marketing plan to
Okay.
build your own business. So each of the
Okay.
3 tools, how because I like to say you have to figure out what's the best way for you to use each of them. And so I'm always fascinated by how each person adapts it to their own business.
You know, when I first started using the Simplest Marketing Plan, I have to be honest and say I'm all about simple. I'm not simple, but I am about simple. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to create intense, complex stuff. So I was really intrigued by this. And the first month I used it, I picked just one thing. I picked strategic networking. I thought, okay, I can do this. Let me see what happens. But by doing that, it taught me who my people are. And so each and every month, I pick 5 people. Who am I going to connect with? Which 5 people do I need to meet this month? Where am I going to find them? Is it going to be the chamber? Is it going to be another event? Is it going to be grains and grits at the Smoky Mountains? Where am I going to find these people? And what type of relationship am I going to form? What am I hoping to do? Because for me, it's, I can laugh and giggle all day long. I can tell jokes all day long, and I can make friends all day long. But at the end of the day, at the end of the year, I have to be able to say, I actually had a client. I earned some money, right? And I helped somebody along the way. So I always start each month with strategic marketing. Who do I
Strategic
need? Where am
networking.
I going to find them? What relationship am I going to build with them? And then from there, I added targeted outreach, and so I have this little process I used on LinkedIn, and I really do use LinkedIn as my only primary platform for marketing, because in 30 minutes a day, I can get it done. And that's what's so great about this particular plan. So I go and I find people to connect with, and then I find a post that I can like, one I can share, one I can comment on. And with the comments, Elise had said, you said in one of our office hours, comment on something, but also connect with the people who are commenting, and I tried that. And I was very successful. I found a post that I really liked. I commented, and then I sent connection requests to about 6 or 8 people out of that group. All of them connected right away, and all of them went to my profile, and all of them started conversations. So I felt like I made some new relationships, new connections, through that, and I will continue to do that. And the other thing I do is I make sure to put a kudos out for somebody, on a regular basis. And that was the most surprising to me on the kudos. When I did that, the person I did that for the first time was just shocked and happy and elated. And, she started getting some comments, and people were starting conversations. And I continued to do that. And now people contact me. Can you do kudos for me too?
What does that mean, doing kudos, Mary? I have no idea what that means.
There is an option on LinkedIn. You just click if you want to if you want to write an article, make a recommendation. There's also one there that asks you if you want to give a kudos. And if you do that, this little box pops up, and you get to pick the background, if it's, congratulations or whatever it is. But you can also write a little testimonial in there, and I believe testimonials are like little mini case studies. You got to present the problem, the solution, and the happy ending, and people like that. And, who doesn't like a good story, right? So I started doing kudos, and I've had people ask, can you do those for me too? And so I'm thinking about that. How am I going to do that?
As a new service, you're saying.
Right. How am I going to do that and get it done, easily and efficiently for people? Or do I just teach people how to do it? I don't know.
Or both. And that's a perfect example of listening to the market, right? Someone says, can you do this for me? Sure. They see you do something. They see you put out a LinkedIn newsletter. Oh, hey, I need one of those too. Can you help me? Right? Can you design it? Can you write it? Can you send it? Whatever.
Right. Exactly. exactly. You know, and it works really well for my
Mhm.
chef clients. You know, when I put kudos out there, and my architects. You know, I don't know what it is about architects, but they just really enjoy, you know, getting a recommendation or kudos or, you know, somebody tooting their horn. You know, they're
Interesting.
always just so elated by that. So, and I
Awesome.
enjoy doing it. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Um,
I've never heard of that. So thank you,
yeah, I
Mary.
see somebody else just made a comment that they use kudos for their colleagues and team members.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's terrific. I'm a one-man shop, you know, so maybe I have to give kudos to my dog. I don't know. Or my neighbors. I don't know, especially the one who's helping me learn about spies and stuff like that. But the other item that I wanted to touch on is the high quality content marketing.
Mhm.
The most surprising thing to me about this simplest marketing plan was learning how to publish a newsletter on LinkedIn. It's very easy. And it allows me to be as creative as I want. It allows me to teach something, you know, to educate people in some way. I usually keep about 6 topics revolving. So as I finish a topic, I just add the next topic for 6 months
Mhm.
later. And, you know, honestly, I enjoy the time that I set aside, you know, that I get to sit and write the newsletter. And so I know on the 15th of every single month, I get to hit publish and away it goes. Now, I was surprised the first time I did this, you know, I had more than 500 followers just like that, just immediately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Yeah.
And I mean, people came out of the woodwork, like, who are these people? You
Mhm.
know, but we've started good conversations. And, you know, I've got some new relationships going. So
That is
that's been
awesome.
surprising to me with the
Yeah.
LinkedIn newsletter. Now, there are 2 camps for newsletters. There's the camp that says, oh, no, nobody wants your newsletter. Nobody will read it. It's passe. It's old. It's archaic. Well, Jiminy Cricket, I'm old and archaic. I don't care. But then there's the other camp that says, oh, no, you must put out a newsletter because you have to keep your name top of mind. You know, well,
Exactly.
how else are people going to remember you unless you talk to them, right? And we can talk through newsletter. So
Out of sight,
that's
out
something I
of
enjoy.
mind. Yeah. Bonnie, looks like you want to add something.
There's so much here, Mary. Yeah, you're teaching me so much right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was thinking earlier, a couple of minutes ago, you said that like in the beginning, you just picked one of the 3 tools, and you focused on the strategic networking. I'm just curious, like how long you just focused on that one before you started to branch out into the other 3?
You know, it's
Other 2.
funny you should say that because I've been networking my whole life. Okay, and I know that networking is really working. It's not go out and have a drink and eat all the appetizers. But I did focus on it. I told myself it would be 1 month, and then I would measure the results. And then the second month came and I measured those results and I said, okay, that's good. Can I do it better? And so it took me 3 months to say, okay, what are the results of this strategic networking? Um, and so when I felt comfortable, I said, okay, I'll just keep doing it this way.
Mhm.
And that's what I did for the other parts too. You know, I think it just, the
Baby
time
steps.
is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel comfortable, you know.
And I also love the fact that, you know, you're following the instruction, if you will, to just spend 30 minutes a day, right? It doesn't have to be more than that once you've got your system in place and you know what you're doing and you're not distracted by, oh my God, I got to do a podcast or maybe I should do a video. It's like, no, you've got your 3 tools and you know how to use them. And I really feel like more and more as I teach people how to do this and kind of make space in the co-working sessions and in the intensives where
Mm-hmm.
you get to actually do it, it becomes almost muscle memory so that when you are in a situation and you have to improvise and be spontaneous, you're not fumbling for what's the best thing to say because it's so much a part of you already. That's
Right.
my mission, basically.
Right, exactly. You know what? Co-working sessions are one of my favorite things
Mm,
about this whole plan. And I know they're, you know, I see the same people all the time at the co-working sessions, and it's
mhm.
become kind of a system now. You know, I know exactly, what a lot of people are going to work on. And sometimes I feel kind of weird when I say the same thing. oh, first of all, I'm going to work on my newsletter, then I'm going to curate an image, and then I'm going to work on my website. And I say those three things all the time, but that, for me, that works.
Well, that's so funny because it's almost like, and this I hear a lot, people imagine they have to come up with something new or say something different, but it's the repetition. This was the big idea in the November office hours. The repetition makes the reputation, because people are not listening and they're not noticing, and no one knows. You said the exact same thing last time at the co-working. Nobody is paying attention except you and me, of course.
Well, I always wonder if people are saying, gosh, that Mary, is she doing that same thing again?
Oh my God, can you believe she's still doing that? All right, well, that's actually a good segue, because we want to take any questions if people have. We have 5 more minutes. I like to keep everyone on track and on time. So if you have questions, the lovely Bonnie will be watching the chat or the comments for that. But in the meantime, I want to also wrap up by telling you about the Simplest Marketing Plan, just a little bit, and the Cyber Monday event that's coming up. So on November 28th from 12 to 1 Eastern, we're going to do something kind of like this, except my longtime client, Bob Bly, is going to join us. And he's a copywriter, and he has all sorts of interesting stories and strategies that we've been talking about for years together that he's going to share. Dogs are welcome. And Bonnie is going to be there too. And so we're going to be talking about tricky client situations, and we're going to share some ideas from the new ebook that is one of the bonuses that comes along with the Simplest Marketing Plan on Cyber Monday. It's called What to Say When. And then we're going to do a live walkthrough of the brand new, simpler than ever Simplest Marketing Planner. And then I'm going to tell you about my brand new program, which I'm really excited about because it includes co-working and intensives and Ask Me Anything sessions. And it's just going to be a community of people working together, probably a relatively small group to start, but we'll see how many people want to be part of that. And so I can't wait to share those details with you. And then, of course, we'll have our one day only Cyber Monday bonuses. So if you want to register, if you haven't already, Bonnie has a link that she's sharing, as well as a QR code, I think, if you want to try the QR code.
I just put the link in the comments, and
All
I'll
right.
stick a QR code up here on the screen. So if you have a QR code reader on your phone and you're not watching this on your phone, you can just go ahead and scan that and get the link to attend the Cyber Monday event too.
Excellent. So do we have any questions coming in, Bonnie?
I don't see any questions coming in right now. I told everybody that I am watching you, but I don't see any questions. I think this has been really great information from Mary so far.
I just wanted to highlight one comment that I saw. Tomas did a little quick research. He says there are 2,544 personal chefs in the US, right? So that's plenty for Mary and her market. So thank you, Tomas, for doing that. And yeah, so I'll begin by thanking Mary for joining us today and being willing and game for this experiment. I think it went well. I'm pleased.
I had a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, you were awesome. So thank you. And the lovely Bonnie, thank you for joining us and doing all the behind the scenes. You can't tell, but she's really working behind the scenes there while she's smiling. And yeah, I like this format. So thanks, y'all, for showing up. We kept it kind of low key. We didn't do a big push, just wanted to see what it was going to be like, but y'all caught it. So thank you for showing up. And yeah, hope you'll join us on Monday. Yes, Bonnie, did I forget something?
No, a question did just come in right as you're wrapping up. I don't know if you want to go ahead and address that. Somebody was just asking Mary, where are you posting content and what have you found works best at getting engagement from your audience?
I have been posting content out on LinkedIn. It's become my primary platform. And from there, I have people asking if I can do that same thing for them. Okay. Now, I do send out an email campaign now and then, well, on a regular basis. I'm not going to say now and then, but primarily LinkedIn. That's the people that I need to meet are there.
That's where the
Mm.
market is for most people,
Mhm.
really. So, and y'all are here, right? We're doing this on LinkedIn too. So, and thank you, Brendan. So good to see you there for your question. Thanks everyone who's commenting and networking in the chat. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And how do we end it, Bonnie?
I think
How do
we
we get
say,
out of here?
join us on Cyber Monday.
There you go.
And then, yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully in another live event like this soon. So,
Yeah, we'll do another one soon.
yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.